Hey Irene, is now a good time? I just wanted to say that I'm really sorry that I had to take off early so suddenly. Was the rest of the meeting okay? Did everything go well? Oh, hey there, Sally. Yeah, I think the rest of the meeting went fine. If you're really curious, though, the notes are up on the shared drive. You might want to give this a quick look over earlier when you get to the office tomorrow. You really are the best, you know that. I really am so grateful for you taking that over for me. I mean, you basically did my work for me. Well, I get that life can be hectic and that sometimes you need to call on others for help. But anyways, I heard that you weren't feeling well. Is everything okay? Right, well, that was the excuse that I gave. I did tell people that I wasn't feeling good so I could leave. So then you're saying that you're not really sick at all? I'm sorry, why did you leave work then? Well, that's because I wanted to leave work early, of course. Wait, what? So you just lied to get out of work today? Are you kidding me? I know, it's bad, but I just had something important that I had to get done today. I didn't have any choice. I had to go. But I knew that having to explain all that to our boss was going to take forever, so I just pretended that I wasn't feeling all that great. I see. Well, did you take care of the business that you had to leave to attend to? Yes, I did. I actually just finished right now, so I'm all done. Well, that's good at least. Okay then, I guess I'll just see you at work tomorrow then. Oh wait, that's not all I had to say to you. I actually have something that I just have to tell you. You have something you have to tell me? Well, what is it? I have to tell you about what it was that I had to leave work to take care of. The truth is that I went to the city courthouse. Well, that makes sense, I guess. The best time to go get stuff done there is probably during the weekend while everyone's at work. That's right. And the thing is that the reason I had to go was because I had to sign papers to officiate my wedding. I wanted to get it all done so that they could be processed by tonight. I just couldn't wait any longer, and I really wanted to do this right now. Hold on a second. You were at the courthouse to sign wedding papers? Is that right? Exactly. The reason why I had to leave work early was so that I could get married. Oh my gosh, I had no idea that you were even engaged. This is amazing news. Congratulations. Is that what you wanted to tell me, that you had gotten married? Yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. After all, I know that I've come to you with a lot of problems and things that I want to discuss, so I just wanted you to know this. I see. So I take it that you must have married that man that you're always talking to me about then, right? Yeah, he finally decided to propose to me, and I just couldn't wait. So I wanted to go to the courthouse and do our civil ceremony right away. Not only that, but it's also my man's birthday, so it was the perfect day to do this. Hold on a second. So you got married today, which is also your husband's birthday? Are you surprised? I knew that you would be. After all, your husband's birthday is today as well, right? Wow, you sure do have a head for some dates. I didn't even know that you knew anything about my husband. Well, it's not hard to know all that when my husband and your husband are the same person. Wait, what? I don't get it. What do you mean by that? You still haven't figured it out yet, have you? I'm telling you that the man I was always going to ask you advice about, the man who I am now married to, is none other than your husband. Wait, I'm still not following here. Seriously, what are you talking about? Let me put this simply for you. Your husband and I were having an affair behind your back. It's pretty funny when you think about it. But whenever I've talked about my boyfriend, the nights we've spent together, the trips we've gone on, everything was always about things I was doing with and to your husband. But now that you know the truth, I really just can't help but laugh. It really is so funny that it took me telling you for you to figure it out. You can't be serious, right? Are you really having an affair with my husband? I have said pretty much that in at least 3 different ways now. But you know, affair makes it sound so dirty. The truth is that Jerry and I love each other, and now I'm his wife. Wait a second. So you're telling me that you went to the court to get married today, and the man who signed those papers as your husband was my husband, Jerry? That's exactly what I'm saying. Are you finally starting to put it all together now? But that can't be. I mean, Jerry and I aren't even divorced, unless you're also telling me... That's right, you've already been divorced, and you didn't even know he did it 3 days ago. You mean that Jerry divorced me 3 days ago? But I don't remember ever signing or agreeing to anything at all. I don't get it. Oh, you don't need to worry about that. You see, your husband asked me to look at examples of your handwriting, and so I just forged your signature. And then Jerry and I went to the courthouse together to submit those papers. But that's illegal. Sally, you're admitting to a crime right now. You realize that, right? A crime? What are you talking about? I don't get how anything that helps two star-crossed lovers like us marry each other could ever be a crime. We were only doing what we had to do before we could get married, you see? I don't know what to say right now. Well, I certainly hope that you're not going to try and put up a fight about this. It's too late anyways. What's done is done. But, I mean, to think that Jerry would actually cheat on me with you? Well, he didn't cheat on you. He was only sleeping with his future wife before I became his wife. So I think you need to realize that he is all mine and no one wants you. You two are divorced now and you're nothing to him. So I want you to pack up your things so that you can leave your house and make room for me. I'm sorry, you're telling me to move out of my own house? Well, no duh. I know that you and Jerry live together in that huge place, right? That house has got to be at least $1 million. I told Jerry that I want to live there with him. I've already started packing my bags. The only thing that's left is for you to move out. And once I move in, I'm finally going to quit my job and become a housewife. Is that really your plan? You're going to quit just like that? Have you even told anyone from the office that's what you're doing? I was actually going to tell the people who needed to know after I finished talking with you. But I just needed to make sure that you knew this had all already happened and that there would be no point in fighting it. So after work, why don't you just go home, pack up your things, and get out of my husband's life? Anyways, Jerry and I have a little dinner date to celebrate our getting married. I've got to go now. Wait, what? You can't just say all of that and then just run off without any further explanation. That's crazy. Jerry, what in the world is going on right now, huh? Did you seriously divorce me and get married to another woman? You realize that we were still in the middle of working a lot of things out, weren't we?
Well, I figured that this was just the easier way to do things. Besides, I didn't think you'd go along with the divorce if I brought it up.
That's because I only found out that you were cheating on me a week ago. We were still in the middle of talking about what we were going to do. But I guess you already know what you wanted to do since you went and got us divorced. What in the world were you thinking doing that, huh?
Well, I thought that it was the only way I'd be able to marry Sally. Don't you get it? I mean, did you really think that I would choose staying with you when I have a young, pretty thing like Sally waiting for me instead? Why would I do that to myself? I tried explaining that I wanted to end things, but you just weren't having it.
You really have some nerve, do you know that?
Well, you can only blame yourself. I told you about how I wanted to marry a woman who was a housewife. You were the one who said that you wanted to keep working and you didn't want to be cooped up in the house.
And just how do you think we're supposed to pay off our mortgage with a single income? Don't you realize that we can't afford me to quit my job and stay at home? I mean, you certainly don't make enough to keep up with all the payments on different things that we have to make. Why would you just go and do this?
Oh, don't worry about the mortgage. I already paid it all off. That was around the time when I asked you if you wanted to quit your job and become a housewife instead.
You really think that that was the only reason we had to worry about money? I know how much of a big spender you are. There is just no way we could ever afford me to quit my job.
See, there you go again. Not listening to me. I'm telling you that you can quit your job and let me take care of you. And you're just shooting me down right away without even thinking about it. So like I said, you really have no one to blame but yourself for this one. How can I feel that you really love me if this is the way that you're acting?
What does any of this have to do with how I love you?
Well, if you really love me, then you just do whatever I said when I said it, right?
You can't be serious about that, right? Please tell me that that's supposed to be some kind of bad joke.
Yeah, you're just proving my point, you know? Anyways, it doesn't matter now, because we're divorced. And I have a new wife as of today, so I'm afraid that you can't stay at the house any longer. I want you to pack up your bags and leave, Irene.
Are you kidding me? You know that you can't just kick me out, right?
Well, I told you last week that I wanted to get a divorce. I told you I wanted to marry someone else.
I know exactly what you were doing. I know that you wanted to divorce me just so that you could marry this other woman. But we still had so much to talk about. We weren't through discussing alimony, lawsuits for the affair, how to split our assets, all of that stuff.
You already know who it is that I'm married to now, right?
That wasn't even on the list of things that I wanted to talk with you about.
Well, the point is that I put up the money for this house and I want to live with the person I love. I just don't need you anymore.
So you're telling me that you really love Sally? So much so that you're willing to just kick me to the curb like this? That's how badly you want to be living together with Sally?
Yeah, does the factor of divorce not tell you all that you need to know? Don't talk to me like we're married anymore.
Well, fine then. I guess since you both want this so bad, there's really no point in arguing anymore.
It's more than just a want for this. It's a need. Our hearts are tied to one another, and that's why we can't live without each other. We're soulmates. Don't you get that? We're always going to end up together because that's what the universe wants for us. We're only following the universe's plans for us by getting rid of anything in our lives that might keep us apart. And that includes you. Now that I've met Sally, I know that there's nothing else I need. And with that, I say goodbye.
Wait, what? You're just going to quit talking to me just like that? We still have things that we need to discuss, Jerry. Hey, answer me right now. I'm serious. Hey there, Irene. I just wanted to say good work yesterday. I called the office yesterday and I found out that you also ended up taking some time off, didn't you? Don't tell me that you had to use some of your paid time off to pack up all your things just for me. You have got some nerve coming back to talk to me after you told me what you were doing with my husband. Well, I really am sorry that things had to end up the way they are. I'm sure that you're going through a lot of difficult emotions right now, but that better not slow you down while you're moving out. You are clearing out a space for me at Jerry's house, right? Have my bags already arrived there? Your bags? What are you talking about? Have you already started sending your stuff over? Haven't you heard? I'm going to be moving into that house from today. Jerry and I want to start living together as soon as possible. So that's why you need to keep packing up your things. Don't keep me waiting too long. Wait a second. You mean that you were going to move into this house from today? Well, of course I was. Once you move out, there's really no need to wait any longer, is there? That's why I thought you'd be done by now. Didn't I tell you that that house was my dream house? I've always wanted to live in a huge place like that, and being there with Jerry is just going to make it perfect. I see. Well, you know, even though I'm fond of the house, I don't think that Jerry wants to give it up. But the house is worth so much more than when we first bought it, you know? Well, I'm just so excited to be living in my dream house with my dream man, tending to my garden while he's at work and then making sure dinner's ready before he gets home. It's going to be simply amazing. But first, you have to move out of there so that I can move in. Just keep an eye out for my luggage when it gets there and bring it into the house for me. I don't need you to do anything else for me after that. You really think that you can just boss me around like this? You must really think that I'm going to just get up and leave. I don't really know what you think because I already know what's going to happen. You and Jerry are divorced. You shouldn't be living together. You need to just get your things and go. That way I can finally be with my soulmate for the rest of my life. Right. Well, the only problem there is that I own this house. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Jerry told me about how he was the one paying for the house, so that means that it's his house, right? I don't know what else to say except that it's my name on the mortgage. But that can't be right. That's my dream house. You can't be the real owner. I'm not sure what you've heard about the house from Jerry, but the house has always belonged to me since we moved in there. You have to be lying to me. Jerry said that he was the one who paid the loan. Well, the loan is certainly paid off, but I was the one who paid it all. But that can't be right. It is. I paid for the house, the utilities, the insurance, everything. I can show you some of the bank statements I have that prove it all. Please tell me that this is some kind of bad joke or something. You know, if you don't believe me, then that's really on you, but I'm just trying to tell you the truth. I own the house. But Jerry told me that the house cost over $1 million, and if you paid for everything, then just where did you get that money from? Oh, come on, you don't really think that I could afford to have all that money lent to me with our salaries? I don't understand. How did you get all of that money in the first place then? How did you afford to get a loan large enough to cover all that? My dad took out the loan for me, if you must know. Oh, wait a second. You mean you asked your dad for help? That's right. My dad owns his own business, so he has quite a bit of capital and has access to those kinds of loans. So I asked my dad if he could co-sign my loan, and in the end, he ended up accepting liability for about 4/5, while I took on 1/5 of the total amount. But then because my dad paid off the loan, I was basically just repaying my dad with no interest. So when I finished paying for the house, I really just finished paying my dad back. But then, doesn't that mean that the house would actually belong to your dad in that case? Well, my dad actually passed away last year, but before he did, he changed the name on the deed to me, and I inherited the land. But then, how did Jerry end up thinking that the house was his? You two started seeing each other about a year ago now, right? I think that Jerry was so obsessed with his little love affair that he didn't even bother to check about the process. He was always too busy lying about being busy with work to check that his name had been put on the deed as well. When my dad died, he told me to handle everything by myself, and so I did. So then, he didn't even make sure that his name was on the deed? That's right. So not only did I end up paying for the house, but I also have legally and properly inherited it. But then, if you're the real owner of the house, then that means that I won't be living there. No, it means neither you nor Jerry is going to be living here, since Jerry has no right to stay here now that we're divorced. So I suppose you two will just have to find somewhere else to live. But you can't do this to me. I already sent my bags over there. Right, well, when the delivery person comes, I'll just refuse to sign for the packages. Don't worry. But if you don't pick up all my things, then what's going to happen to them? Won't they get sent back to me or something? I don't know. Why don't you go call Jerry and ask him to figure it out for you? I have to go and call my lawyer to tell them that I'll be pressing charges for the affair you two were having. Although I guess since I imagine you've already canceled your lease and are all packed up, you probably don't have a place to live anymore. So I guess I should have my lawyer send his letter to your parents? You want to send the letter saying that you're suing me to my parents? Why on earth would you do that? Well, don't you think they should know about the crimes you committed? And I'm not just talking about the cheating, you also impersonated me by forging my signature. Oh, come on, you're not really upset about that, are you? I told Jerry that I would divorce him when we worked out all the details of how it would happen. Instead, you and him snuck around and ended our marriage out of convenience for yourselves. And if you think that I'm going to take that kind of identity theft lightly, then you're dead wrong. Anyways, I'll go ahead and tell my lawyer to forward those letters to your parents' house. After that, the delivery person with Sally's bag showed up. I followed through on what I said and refused to sign for them. I heard that Sally and Jerry had to spend 2 hours trying to collect their bags from the mailroom. I heard that Sally did end up moving back in with her parents, but when they found out what she had done and the trouble she was in, they kicked her out before a week had even passed. Now, Sally and Jerry lived together in a cramped apartment. They couldn't afford anything more since their jobs found out about what happened. They were both severely demoted. The day Jerry moved out of my house, I took some of my dad's favorite snacks and went to go visit his grave, where I told him all about what happened to me.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hey there, Hilda. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Oh, hey, Michelle. Yeah, I think the last time we saw each other was 2 years ago at the school reunion.
Well, you should know that I've seen you plenty of times since then.
Oh, really? Well, you should have said something to me. I would have loved to catch up. Does that mean that you still live here now? I thought you still lived back home.
No, I finally moved away when I learned there wasn't anyone worth marrying there. But I have noticed you walking around town clinging to someone's arm. Why didn't you tell me that you got married?
Sorry, what do you mean? I'm not following you.
Oh, come on. There's no point in playing stupid with me. I know that you're married, and I find it unacceptable.
Hold on a second. Let's set aside marriage entirely. Why would it even matter to you whether or not I was?
Oh, come on. Can you really not guess at all why I might care? You remember how much better looking I was than you in school, right? I was prom queen, and all of the boys wanted to have me back then.
Right. I guess now that you mention it, I do remember that you were quite popular back then.
No duh, I was popular, and I should have been the first one out of us to get married, but all the good boys back home didn't want anything to do with me after high school. Not only that, but it was clear that everyone there was way beneath me anyways.
Well, I guess it's good to know that you're still as confident as ever, Michelle. You certainly did have a high opinion of yourself back in high school, too, as I seem to recall.
Well, anyways, I think that I owe you an apology of sorts.
Sorry, you want to apologize to me. I'm not sure what you would even say sorry for.
Oh, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for stealing your husband. In fact, I know that he picked you up from the maternity clinic, right? I guess that means that you two are having a baby soon. But I'm still not going to let you get away with getting married before. And so, that's why I stole your husband from you. So don't worry, I did reach out, just not to you.
I'm sorry, I really just have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I'll tell you. I was talking to your husband and told him that he should leave his wife and marry me instead. And that's why I want to apologize to you.
Michelle, I'm sorry, but I still just am not following you at all. What husband are you talking about?
Why are you still playing dumb? I know all about your handsome husband that you were trying to hide from me. You clearly weren't going to introduce him to me, so I had to take matters into my own hands. But don't you worry. Things went just fine for me, and now he's all mine. I'll even be sure to pay you off for our affair. So how about you just sign the divorce papers and hand him over already?
Look, Michelle, I only have a boyfriend, okay? I'm not married.
What are you talking about? Of course you have a husband! Stop trying to lie to me. You know that I've been able to steal your men from you ever since we were in school together. Just accept the fact that I've done it again. And also accept that you'll have to raise that baby of yours all by yourself.
Okay, well, I think I understand what it is that you're trying to tell me with all of this. But I'm not sure that I actually understand what any of it means. But if I have this straight, you're telling me that you've started an affair with a man who you know is married, and that you want to marry this man, and that's why you've told him to divorce his wife for you. And then you messaged me to tell me all of this because you think this man is my husband.
That's what I've been telling you this whole time.
Right. I see. Well, I don't know how else to tell you this, but I'm not pregnant.
Wait, what? What do you mean that you're not pregnant?
Not only am I not pregnant, but I'm not even married. Again, I have a boyfriend, but I don't have a husband.
Oh, come on. When are you finally going to stop with all of these lies? You just can't accept the fact that I've beaten you and that your husband chose me over you.
No, I really am telling you the truth right now. I did go to a maternity clinic with a guy. But tell me, was the guy you saw me with about 6 feet tall with a mole under his right eye?
Yes, that's exactly the guy that I saw you with. And he's your husband. He is your husband, isn't he?
Now that man is actually just the director of the maternity clinic, which is where I just so happen to work.
Hold on a second. That guy is just the clinic director.
That's right. And that guy is actually married, but he's not married to me. So I really don't know how else to say this, but I think there's been a big misunderstanding here.
No, this can't be happening. How can that guy not be your husband?
Well, he's not my husband because we're not married. Because, again, I'm not married.
Well then, that means that I've won. I've been right this whole time. I was always going to get married before you. Not only that, but I'm going to get married to a doctor who owns his own practice. Oh, this is way better than I could have hoped for. I get to be married before you, and to a doctor of all people. It might not have been the way I originally planned it, but it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, I guess you really are going to get married before me, aren't you?
That's right. But at least you can find solace in the fact that you didn't get abandoned by your man.
I mean, I think that you might have more things to worry about than just floating to me.
And why is that? Because I had to have an affair before this man would have married me? Who cares about having to pay for anything when I'm going to be with a doctor? I was already planning on paying you off for the affair with who I thought was your husband. So this is nothing to me. And now, I'm going to be the happiest woman in the world and never have to work another day in my life.
Uh-huh. Well, good luck with all of that, I guess. I was actually going to quit my job at the clinic at the end of the month anyways. I was going to try and find work in another place. So, I don't think that you'll be seeing much more of me.
Oh no. Are you being serious? That really is too bad. Ha ha ha. I might have let you try and squeeze my husband for some more pay or something if you had just been a little nicer to me.
Actually, I think that this is just all the more reason to leave my job. I don't want to get involved in this any more than I already have. So again, good luck with the marriage, I guess.
Hey there, Hilda. I was just wondering how your new job's going. Have you basically settled in?
There has been a lot of paperwork since I started here, but I have to say that I prefer it to the old place. Not to mention the raise that I got for working here.
Well, there you go. Sounds like things are going well for you. Actually, kind of wanted to talk to you about something.
Is it something that we should talk about over the phone?
No, it's not that, but I do have to send you a few photos that I'd like you to look at.
Well, that's fine with me, but is everything okay?
Well, you know how we've been. Going out for about 6 months now. I thought that we should talk. I've hidden this from you for a while, but I think you should know that my parents are really rich.
Oh, really? Well, I appreciate the honesty with me.
I mean like tens of millions in assets rich. Dad and I actually work at the company that my dad manages. Take over the company after he steps down.
Wow. That's a lot of money. I was not expecting this. Although, you know what? It does explain some of the fancy brands you own and the nice watches you're always wearing.
Well, my dad always told me to always dress up or, at the very least, put on a nice watch. But that's not the only thing. You see, the reason I didn't tell you any of this is because my parents are scared that a woman would take advantage of me for my family's money. So that's why I lied about who I really was to you for all this time.
I can see that now. Oh, but it's not like we bonded over material things. We just had a lot in common.
I know. And that's exactly why I know that I can trust you. You never even once asked for me to pick up a bill. You're a hardworking nurse who makes her own through the world, and I respect it a lot.
Well, thank you. That really does mean a lot from you now that I know the truth.
But anyways, I know that we also both had in our profiles that we were looking for something long-term, right?
Yes, but what makes you say that?
Well, that's one of the condos that my dad owns. Costs about $2 million, but he told me that he's willing to let us move into there.
This is, this is a lot to take in.
There's still more. Thing is, that my dad is quite sick. The doctors have only given a year, 2 at most, to live. So, basically what that means is that as his only son, I'm actually on the verge of taking over the company and all of his assets. I know this was going to happen one day, but it's never ever felt this real before. And the truth is that I need someone that I can trust with all of this, and that's why I'm saying all of this to you now.
Well, I really appreciate you talking to me about all of this. I mean, I'm shocked, but glad it's all out in the open.
Then I have one more thing to tell you, and I wouldn't be mentioning this if I really didn't think you might be the one. But the other day, my dad gave me my inheritance early. He thought it would make things easier on the taxes when it came to, him passing.
Right, I've heard that you get quite a bit taken out for inheritance tax.
Yeah, but if he did it this way, he wouldn't have had to pay a cent. All I have to do is pay a cool $1 million now, and I'll get all the inheritance tax-free.
I guess so. I don't really know as many details about that.
Well, the amount of money I got was in the millions, although because of the legal process, I probably won't be actually getting the money for another 6 months or so.
Wow. Well, look, Hank, I'm glad that you've told me about this, but those are numbers that I never even dreamed of having in cash.
I know, but here's what I want to ask you. Do you think I could borrow some money from you until I get my inheritance?
Wait, what? You want to borrow money from me?
Well, the thing is that until all these processes can take place, I still am just me. Besides, I'm going to need some money for legal forms for all this. And, well, I know that you make quite a bit as a nurse, right? Please, I promise that I'll pay you back in 6 months. This is for our future.
But I don't get it. Why do you need to borrow money from me to do this? But that's just it. I don't understand something like this. I don't really understand. Can I just ask you a couple of questions first?
What more do you need to know? I've already told you everything.
Well, you're telling me that your dad is sick and only has, at most, a couple of years to live, right?
That's right. It's something that no amount of money or doctors can cure.
Okay, well, do you know the name of what it is that your dad has?
What do you mean? Why would that matter?
Well, it's just that I am a nurse, and I do know a thing or two about diseases. So I was just curious about what it is that your dad has.
Oh, right. I actually don't know the name or anything like that, but I can ask my dad.
Of course. I only want to help. I guess you can call it my nurse's instinct.
No. I really don't think that's going to be necessary. I just need a little money to tide me over until my dad, until he's gone.
But you said that you were going to have to pay $1 million to somehow cancel out your taxes? I'm sorry, but I just don't have that kind of money.
Oh, I see. Well, okay. Maybe we should talk more about this in person. I'll see you later.
Hey there, Hilda. It's been a while.
And just when I thought I'd gotten rid of you.
Oh, well, I need to apologize to you.
Apologize to me for what?
I did it again. I stole another one.
Another one? What are you talking about? You stole something?
That's right. I stole your husband. I actually saw you two going on a date with each other about a year ago, and I remembered what you told me, that you had a boyfriend but weren't married. So anyways, I struck up a conversation with him after you'd got home for the night.
Oh, you mean you did that again?
And, well, we just hit it off.
I feel like I'm having some serious deja vu here.
I also heard that he's going to be the heir to millions any day now from his father. That's why I stole him from you. I know I messed up last time. This time it is your husband. But now all of his money is going to be mine.
I'm still not married yet, Michelle.
What? But he told me you two were married.
I actually did have a boyfriend about a year ago, but I broke up with him, and now I'm completely single.
Wait a second. You can't be serious about this. He told me that he was married to you, and that if he left you for me, that he'd have to pay when you sued him for his affair with me. And so he told me that before anything could happen and before he could get his money, he would need me to give him $500,000.
You mean that he told you all of that?
That's right. He told me everything.
And he told you about his sick dad, too, I bet.
I knew it. I knew that he was your husband all along.
No, I'm afraid you're wrong about that as well. That man is my ex-boyfriend, and him and I broke up because about a year ago he started to stink of a scam.
A scam? What do you mean? I don't understand.
He told me about how he was so close to inheriting his father's business and wealth and assets and everything. He even promised me an amazing condo. He said that it'd only be a matter of time, 6 months at the most. But for some reason or another, he just needed to borrow $1 million from me. He told me that he couldn't go to his parents and they didn't have the money for him, and that he would need the money to avoid paying taxes on his inheritance. But when I asked him about his sick dad, he couldn't even tell me what it was that his dad was sick with. And when I asked him about the condo, he couldn't give me an address either. And he still couldn't give me a good reason for what it was that he needed so much money from me for. I started to get really suspicious, and so I decided to break things off with him.
But you mean the money that he asked for, the $500,000 to break up with, was... But he told me that he was going to pay me back for all of that and more as soon as he got his dad's money by being free of you. Are you telling me that all of that was just a scam that he was running on me?
You didn't actually give him that much money, did you?
Of course I did. I was about to be rich. The whole reason I texted you in the first place was that I could try and rub it in your face, remember? He told me that if I gave him that money that it would be enough to settle the lawsuit that you'd file against him.
Well, try asking Hank yourself.
Hey, Hilda. He's not picking up my calls. What am I supposed to do? Where do you think he's gone?
He's probably run far, far away with all of your money by now.
But that can't be. That wasn't just from my savings. I took out a huge loan to be able to give him all that money. He told me that he'd be able to repay me back quickly. He told me to think of it as a tiny investment for a big payout.
I mean, I guess it was a big payout for him if you think about it. This is the second time that you've done this. Whatever happened with my old boss anyways?
Well, his wife didn't want to divorce and neither did he. But she did sue us both for the affair and then I was told to never come around again.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you got the short end of the stick there.
And now you're telling me that I just had the money stolen from me again? But what about all the fancy cars that he drove? The clothes, the watch, everything. He looked totally rich.
Yeah, I mean, the more you think about it, the more it was always too good to be true.
But how could he trick me like that? I thought that we really had something. I thought that I'd finally stolen your husband away from you.
You really haven't changed at all, you know that?
But what am I supposed to do? I won't be able to pay a loan that huge. You have lots of savings, right? Lend me some money.
No, this is just ridiculous. You need to stop this and look at what you've done. I haven't stolen anything from you, and I'm not responsible for your sick bullying trip.
But please, 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 please. You have to help me.
I don't have to do anything. In fact, it sounds like you have much more serious things to be thinking about than coming to beg from me. After that, I blocked Michelle on everything. I actually heard at the class reunion where I had seen Michelle at that she borrowed money from a lot of different people. Apparently, she didn't pay many of them back and she slowly lost all her friends. So I'm sure that when she had to go to the police and describe what had happened to her, that it was quite the twist of fate for her. I have no idea at all what happened to her, or if she ever got out of her jam. If she did, I only hope it was through getting back at Hank somehow. But it really is none of my business.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.